Hello everyone. First of all, I get a bit panicked if I see a lot of crowd, so please forgive me to get some used to it. Thanks to Charlie, Rachel, and Soil for the opportunity. I've been following you guys since you were running Indie Beers. So last year I was supposed to attend that, but me and my chronic addiction to travel, I couldn't make it. So yeah, finally we are here today. I've been building Superblog like an indie hacker. Even before I know the term indie hacker, I've been building things. So I built my first product called mHotspot at age of 19. After that, I built Android, iOS, and Windows apps that reached tens of millions of users all alone. I didn't have a formal job, just winging things along the way. After that, I built two startups. One is Spotplay. It's a software plus hardware startup, and I was the CTO and co-founder. I built the entire thing single-handedly. So we were trying to bring in-flight Wi-Fi entertainment in buses and cabs. To give you a small context, mostly, at least at that point of time, if any of you took international travel, you used to connect to Wi-Fi on the flight and used to watch movies. It was pre-Starlink days and there was no internet. All the content was preloaded onto the flight, loaded onto a media server, and Lufthansa was running it. It was like 100K a year per flight. So we built for something like 2,000 rupees, that's like 30, yeah, around $200 a year. That was the innovation that we did. And we filed for a patent in the US for that. And yeah, then I built an influencer marketing platform in 2019. We shut it down. Then I started working on Superblog. If at any point of time, if I start to behave like this, please give me a heads up. This is for me, not for you. So today, we're going to just talk about these 5 points. Superblog, trust me, it's not a sales pitch, not a good salesman as well. We'll talk about the tech, and then something called build in public. If any of you are aware of build in public, just give a shout. Oh, cool, so good. And then how do we actually grow products with this strategy? Or not just exclusively build in public, with generally how you grow products as a solo developer or a single person. And then we'll talk about use of AI and what all the techniques that I use. So to give you a small context, what is Superblog? Generally, any company who wants to rank organically in Google, they use something called content marketing. The very first thing anybody does is install WordPress. It's the most popular blogging platform. And they install at least 10 to 15 plus plugins. And then as they keep growing, putting a lot of content and getting a lot of traffic, you need to keep optimizing the server, theme, content, and then make sure your site scores well in Google audits like Core Web Vitals and Lighthouse. And then you need to think about technical SEO, on-page SEO, a number of things. I'm getting tired telling about all those things. So imagine for companies, either growing or large companies, it's a hassle. What Superblog does is it automates all of this as much as possible so that the marketing team can directly jump into growing the product instead of pulling in their developers or trying to get freelancers to fix the content or fix the website and the SEO part of it. That's what Superblog does. And this is the core experience I try to give to users, which people loved. If you are aware of WordPress, generally how I like to present it is the Android of the world, very powerful, but also you need to get your hands very dirty to get the things that you want. But with Superblog, it's like iPhone. You just use things and you get a lot of real-time SEO suggestions. And the idea is to keep this list increasing. And yeah, so that's what Superblog is. I'm done with the product. So the current traction, I'm a solo developer and I just build and code things. Right now I have 160 paying customers. Some of them are like YC unicorns. If you recognize any of these logos, please give a shout out. There's no free plan for Superblog. Yeah, so this is the most interesting part. I'm excited about this. Uh, as a one-person team to build a complex product, it's very time-consuming and it's very strenuous. So I thought to eliminate all the moving parts that I would need in the tech. So that means when anybody wants to build a blogging platform, the first thing that comes to mind is scaling issues, because it's not a non-public product. It's a public product. So you have the dashboard, yes, which is private, but your customers who use your product, they put it to the public, to their traffic. So literally, you have absolutely no idea or sense what the scale is going to be like. If, say, I have like some of the biggest clients, 100 million people use their product. So if their social media handle does a tweet, you immediately get millions of views in a fraction of time period. So you cannot possibly save a lot of money, time and effort as a one-person team, and then account for scalability without going down. So I use the approach Jamstack. So Jamstack is basically JavaScript and markups, APIs. Basically, you build an entire system and make sure it just outputs HTML, CSS, and JS. They're static files, and then you deploy them onto the CDN. I'll just try to run you through like what happens generally in this architecture in the context of Superblog. So the customers log into their dashboard, and they try to write blog posts, they create content, they manage their blog with the server, which is built with Next.js and Chakra and Express, with PostgreSDB and AWS S3. So once they do all of their activities that they need their blog to go live, the build server takes the content and then builds everything using GitHub Actions plus Circle CI, and then puts them onto CDN. I'm very fascinated by using GitHub Actions for this process, because if you're a developer, you know for a fact that you use CI/CD to actually build your product and then deploy it onto your own servers for your customers to use. But what I'm doing is, because I need Jamstack and I need to do it at scale, I'm using the actual CI/CD for dev purposes to actually ship the product and make sure it goes onto the CDNs. I'm not really sure what's the break percentage between tech and non-tech crowd here. So how many of you are tech here? Perfect. So I thought I'll just try to adjust according to that. So right now my CDN consists of Cloudflare, CloudFront, Hetzner, Netlify, so that my customers don't face any downtime. If you remember properly, a few months back, there was a huge downtime globally for almost all the companies. Superblog didn't go down because of Jamstack. Literally, there is no server at all. So the server ends here. The blog is literally static files. You might as well just host it on your Raspberry Pi and then put a Cloudflare in front of it. So it scales to millions of users. It's just static files on the CDN. And then the general public accesses this. So yeah, this is what Superblog pioneered. And my customers love the speed and simplicity of this architecture. And to give a context, I have a customer who have like 100,000 plus blog posts. They used to pay tons of money for managed WordPress hosting a month. Now with Superblog, like literally the whole thing is like null and void. They just need to focus on content. It's the same thing for almost everybody who uses Superblog. And during Q&A, I'm happy to answer any part of this. We can come back to this slide. So yeah, the precursor to Superblog is actually this. So I used to build products and scale them with SEO to at least 1 million users a year. So like anybody else, I used WordPress, okay? And I started with a small server VM, and then I had to scale up to $400 per year because I was too lazy to optimize my WordPress. Because I'm making money, so now is not the time to sit and optimize everything. But finally one day I thought this is not a scalable thing. So fine, I'll do it myself, I thought, and I switched to Netlify plus Megado. It's an email hosting thing, and so my idea is people just need something that looks and performs as well as Medium. They have the best book-like reading experience, in my opinion. So I built in the same principles, and I wrote actually a Medium blog post on it. It went off kind of mini viral, and people loved this approach. Then I was using Gatsby.js at that point of time. So it was my first love for Jamstack. So I built 2 open source starters for Gatsby.js, and people were using that. It was good, like, because then it validated my idea that there are other people like me. And then in 2020, I decided, why can't I build a SaaS with the same architecture by abstracting the whole tech? So as long as customers are considered, they don't even know what is Jamstack. They just know if they use Superblog, it will be insanely fast, it will be optimized, and they don't need to worry about downtime even if they have like millions of traffic. That article is still live on Medium, by the way. So coming to build in public. So this is an approach that's been quite popular for the last 3 to 4 years. So I started on Twitter and LinkedIn when I had less than 250 followers. This is one of the biggest mistakes I did in my life. So I should have started it when I was 19 years old. I was just building and then writing it on Facebook. I know, that's the bad thing. So my idea was, so I was never really interested in revenue or something. My whole thing is like, I love to build new things, and I built close to 35 apps, and hit top 3 and top 8 on Google Play Store, all with 0 spend. And I was writing about it on Facebook. Imagine if I had done that in 2011, 12, 13 in Twitter. By the time I started in 2020 with 250 followers, I would have had a large audience and distribution. I could have reached 100K ARR on day 1 if I had used the 7 years of head start. So I would say if people are interested in building space, the right time is to start like T-60, but no, if not now. So please don't do that mistake. And how do you go about building public? One of the biggest influences was Buffer. I saw like, how can a company share their entire balance sheet on internet? You just go to /buffer and their URL, and you get to see entire everything. So I thought that is actually very cool, but I did not have the courage to share things transparently. I didn't even open source anything at first. So I was very scared, I would say, because I didn't have any formal experiences in setting up repos or maintaining code standards. But in 2018, I built my first open source project. It's called Ray, Reimagined YouTube Music Player. It's like a cute jukebox which takes YouTube as the backend and renders a very good music player. This was like before YouTube Music. And it was top 3 on Reddit, r/JavaScript, when I launched it. That was the first open source thing I did, and I got confidence from that. Like, hey, people are really nice, they won't tear you down. That gave me a lot of confidence to do this build in public. And then I started sharing like really honest thoughts, like whatever I feel when I'm building something, I think if this is good, this is bad, I write on that, and many people liked that, and they found it useful as well. And that's the reason now I have like very good following. And I do get some messages saying that, hey, you don't really do that Instagram kind of things on LinkedIn or Twitter. You write actual useful content. That's one of the things which I feel has done good for me and for the product as well. And one other funny thing you should focus on is like jump on trends. There are these funny, insane takes on Twitter. Just jump on them, quote them, and you get a lot of followers with them. And you never know like who converts into customers. One other thing is, which I noticed basically is, people don't define what they want. They're just on the build-in public hashtag because everybody are doing that, and they don't know if it is good because their customers might not be there. Say, for example, if you're building for Shopify, I'm 100% sure your customers would be more on Facebook groups than on Twitter and LinkedIn. Then you are unnecessarily wasting your time on this, unless your goal is to build your distribution, not your product distribution. Because I know certain founders, they have like 200 to 300 followers, but they're doing like 500,000 ARR. So yeah, it is very important to define the why and find out where your customers hang out actually. And yeah, it's traditional for any build in public. You see this kind of chart. It's MRR, and generally sharing this is not considered marketing or build in public. It's just being completely true to the product. So one of the reasons why I chose build in public is, see, I'm a sole person, and that doesn't exactly give confidence for companies to choose my product. Because like, why would a unicorn wants to bet on a one person who is randomly traveling across the world, and why should we use that product? So my thought process to break that trust barrier. And also Superblog is a all-in kind of product. Say for example, if any company uses a tool like some writing tool or something that's within the company, tomorrow if there's no defensibility for the product, they can switch over without migration costs. But for Superblog or any other blogging platform for that matter, the company will be handing over their entire domain authority, their URL structure, their traffic, in a way, at least 30% of their revenue to you, depending on you. So the switching costs are so high, it is very important for me to make sure companies trust me. How do generally like I make decisions? I look at whether the product has a good development release cycle, updates, or whether the product is being discussed, or is there a chatter about the product on social media. So I wanted to break that. That's the reason why I did that instead of just resorting to revenue updates. And yeah, it's not much, but it's honest work. So the build in public, is it worth it? In general, yes, that's what I would say, because you get to meet a lot of interesting folks, and you learn a lot from this journey. And personally, one other things, so even though I keep saying that I'm a single person founder, like doing everything on my own and all, but just yesterday I tweeted that MRR screenshot, and somebody shared, hey, there is an additional CTA on your landing page. Because I asked AI to do some, like do a GitHub PR, and I didn't really go through that. And I had an extra section on the landing page. And one kind internet random stranger I never even spoke to helped me out. So there are like random things that I get on DMs, like, hey, on this XYZ page, there is this mistake, why don't you fix it? I'm like, oh, thank you. So it's like building a community, friends, and like really good people who would support you, that's there. But also there's a fear of competition, okay? Unfortunately, now there are a lot of copycats coming up. Copycats are not bad, because you as a customer always needs a better product. Better product is good, but copycat is bad. So there is always that thing, and now there's a mutual understanding that unless and until it's completely okay for you to share with 100% honesty, do it. Otherwise, just be a bit cautious is what I would say. And again, I want to iterate on these 2 points again, like define your whys. Is it worth it? Are you trying to sell to your customers, or are you trying to build your brand, or are you trying to build your distribution for a future product? So once you define that, your whole plan becomes much easier. And product growth. For Superblog personally, word of mouth, build in public, and SEO are doing very good. It's according to what I would project the growth rate at. I can increase any of these levers and try to increase the growth. But generally, if you are trying to build a product, product hunt is generally not the marketing strategy, because I spoke to multiple founders who are like, yeah, I'll launch on product hunt and I'll get to MRRs. But no, it won't happen like that. You should have a solid marketing strategy. These days, Instagram, TikTok, influencer marketing has been like doing very well for B2C apps. You might be knowing about this Cal AI, like you take picture of a food and you get the calorie things of the app. And then there are some other makeup apps. So they launched, and within 30 days, they were doing like how much? 300K ARR, and all those some shady apps I don't want to name. They're doing like millions within launch of like 3 to 4 months. This is only possible with collaborating with right influencers and target market. Now, if you want to build something like a indie hacker or a solo person or a very small team, you don't need to go to $500,000 ARR in the first 3 to 4 months. But you can strategically choose your campaigns. Don't hold me to it, but generally $1,000 should get you 100,000 views. And then the conversion from there to your product depends on the campaign concept and the quality of the product, and like how well you optimize your conversion funnel. So that's a very good thing for one-person teams or lean teams, to how to go to the market very quick. And then paid ads, it's a completely numbers game. If you're able to crack it, it's wonderful. I know multiple founders like who do like $500,000 a month, but interestingly, they spend 300K on ads. But still, hey, it's 200K a month. It's like what, like, I'm sorry, I'm lost. $2.4 million ARR, which is not bad. So you just have to get your strength right, whatever it is. And then affiliate marketing, I'm not a big fan of this, but many people like do at least like 30 to 40% of their revenue from affiliate marketing. Like, for example, for Superblog, I can go to any of these content marketers and build up the affiliate marketing channel, because that's the most common intersection for my customers and the affiliate marketer. So yeah, you can pick any of these things. But in addition to that, this is like SEO and CEO. SEO is like chart engine optimization. That's what I like to call, because the hard fact is informational queries are nuked. So no longer, people search for like how to do this or what is X on a typical search and then wait for 10 links and all that. No, that's going to be either ChatGPT or Google itself will aggressively push chart UX for informational queries, because that's the most thing that makes sense logically. But now what I would say is the product discovery problem is going to remain. So if you build a new product, just like how you are searching for customers, customers are also searching for their pain point, like how can I solve this pain point? And now you need to match these two, like build a bridge between these two, and that's going to remain always. Now the point is, because getting into the chart UX is very difficult. Say until now, it's both X and Y axis. If you build something and people search for it, you need to rank in like 1 to 10 links and then like 1 to n pages. But now there is no more X axis. It's just Y axis with just probably 5 to 8 links. That's it. So you have to be there. And how you get there, whatever I speak right now, it's going to be speculation, because there is no white paper right now for any of these engines, how they rank. So mostly what I can tell is write high quality content, make sure it is endorsed by people, meaning a lot of likes, a lot of shares, a lot of social signals that it can be trusted. And if the chart engines like ChatGPT or Anthropic or anybody are able to get third-party access data, which they will also know the quality of the page, like how many minutes or seconds people are spending on this particular URL, or how many clicks or interactions they're doing with the page. These are the factors that would make sure your product is in that chart window. So just focus on that. And one interesting thing is people just build things. I mean, you can build things, but I would say validate before building things. How do you validate? You can ask 10 people, you can ask 100 people, but the problem is it's not a real data set. Unless and until you do a survey of a Google form or waitlist for U form, until you get, unless 10,000 data points, I don't think you will get unbiased opinion for your product, because there's a huge risk that you might be in an echo chamber of for your product or against your product. So the best thing would be to use Google Trends to see how the demand is varying across the time, and then use Google Keyword Planner to get absolute metrics. If you're building, say for example, you're building a note-taking app with a specific feature. Now you can actually search whether there are users searching for that particular keyword, and you can actually know how many people will come to your product without you marketing to them. That's and then you have Ahrefs or WriterZen. These are other tools that helps you to validate your idea even before you write single line of code. I would say do this. It saves a lot of time, effort, and tears. And big thing about AI. This is my team, by the way. Me being solo is not exactly true. So I have this superpowers behind me. AI is generally a blessing, is what I consider, and there's a lot of productivity boost that is happening because of AI. And for 1% teams and very low percent teams, now we can ship with insane fast speed with help of AI. Do not sleep on it. So initially, I think 2 years back, I was like very hesitant even to use VS Code Copilot, because I was like, oh, I'm a true developer, I can't do all that. Don't do that. Take the head start. Now or later, it's going to become the mainstream. So why not you get on the bandwagon and get the head start? Again, use the right tool for the job. Explaining each tool, how I use them in my workflow, especially. ChatGPT is my everything else officer. Everything that I do, and then the minus whatever is left, I used to use ChatGPT for that. It's very good at general purpose, because that's the model they were hoping for. And I use something called Custom GPT. So I wrote a wrapper with Custom GPT that talks to my database and then gives me replies. There are other products now which does that, but this, it's very simple. I just use an Express API that does a ping to my Prisma schema, so that I always get my updated database schema, and then the prompt that I give will be built into an SQL query based on this Prisma schema, and then it goes to my other Express API endpoint, where it's a read-only endpoint, where this query is run against the database, and then the data is fetched back, and then the ChatGPT compares whether this is the information I want or not, and then the cycle goes on, and I get very good results. It saves a lot of time. I don't need to open my Beekeeper app and just do the queries. It's much faster. That's why I use that. There's a small free version hack for this, not technically a hack, but I took a pro subscription, built my custom GPT, and then I did not renew it. So now I can use this. So it works. Next, Cloud Code. Recently got onto this bandwagon very, very newly. I love to call it my intelligence officer, because it's extremely smart. For Cloud Code, so because of the paid plan, you get the chat app also. So I'm not that much using ChatGPT. So it's friendship over. But Cloud Code is very good. It even one-shots a lot of features. I was in train, I was coming back, a customer just asked me to do a company seal on the invoice and then send them back. I'm in train, I can't get to the physical stamp pad and seal right now. So I did a Google search. You can actually do that and try right now. Absolute garbage on page 1 when you search for add seal to PDF. They're just ranking. And when you go to the link and open that, there's not even a single product that does upload PDF invoice, enter your company's name, there's a seal. It's not there. I tested it. So in the train, I asked Cloud Code to build a simple HTML page with CSS and JS. And I actually bought add seal to pdf.com, and it's live now. It's already live. You can actually test that. It's very fast. Then the Gemini Pro, I would call it the big gun, because the research is very good. Because even sometimes when Claude fails, I give the entire context, because its context window is insane for a free product, and it does very deep research, takes a lot of time, you have to be patient, but you get right answers. So even when coding something, especially there was this thing, some documentation I was trying to get to, and the models didn't have the recent information. Pro was able to do that. You can just use that for it. And then Google Jules, the intern. So this was the one who messed up my CTA. But they have a very cool GitHub integration. So I have my repos on GitHub and a lot of open issues. So what I started doing is, while I'm coding with my Claude Code and then doing my product, sometimes Claude Code takes 60 to 90 to 120 seconds. Then I just go to my GitHub, to my repo issue, and then I tag Jules in that. Then Jules will start working on this. Then I'll come back to Claude. By the time I finish with this, Jules is also done with that. Then I review the PR and then publish it. So now my workflow has multi-xed. I would say definitely take use of it. They have 60 free tasks per day. I didn't come close to using all the limit. Definitely you could take a look at it. This is an example of my Jules intern activity. So I wanted to restrict the post slugs that users create. I wanted to blacklist all these things from users creating it. I just added Jules, and in 3 minutes it was able to finish the PR, and I merged it. So it potentially saved me like 15 to 20 minutes of time. And yeah, thank you. It's done.
What is the deal with AI and SEO right now? If I have, let's say, a 1,000-word or 2,000-word white paper I want to write, if I get ChatGPT to write it for me with a lot of prompting and blah, 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 will the fact that it's generated with AI de-rank it? Or how does all that work now at the moment?
Yeah, first of all, there are people and there are multiple products called AI writers. In fact, this is one of the earliest segments that saw a very good boom. And a couple of my friends made millions of dollars on that as well. You just give a prompt, you get the entire article, and publish tens and thousands of articles with just a prompt. You can just build your content pillars, clusters, and everything. They did do well, but unfortunately, after some time, like a year or maybe 18 months time, Google will de-rank it definitely. So I wouldn't suggest building entire content pieces with AI.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
I'm sure lots of others here use tools like Cursor, and interestingly, it's missing from your presentation. I know you use Claude Code, which I know some people have been replacing it, but I'd love to hear you comment on why you don't use Cursor and why you use other things like Claude Code specifically.
Sure. So Cursor is a fork of VS Code. As like anybody, I started using Cursor once Cursor was launched. The biggest problem for me is the Superblog's code base is huge, intense. And I have all these linters and formatters like ESLint and Prettier, and then Husky, and then commit lint, everything set up. So sometimes when I click Control S, there are a bunch of tasks that happen. Say for instance, if there's a type error or build error or any other sort of error, I can't even commit. So all these things should pass for my commit to happen, so that I maintain my code standards. Unfortunately, for some reason, I don't know, Cursor, it was lagging so much, for these things to happen. So then I was thinking, should I switch to Z? But Windsurf came along, and Windsurf does much better job than Cursor in terms of this. I don't know why, because all of them are forks of VS Code, but yeah, that's it.
Thanks for the presentation, Sai. So if you go back to the architecture slide, sure. I'd love to better understand what's different between Superblog and a managed WordPress in terms of the tech behind it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sure most of you are aware of request response architecture, right? Almost everything right now on internet works on this. Send a request to a server. Server sends a response. That's it. It's the building block of everything that we know. In the context of WordPress, what happens is, if a user enters a URL, okay, which is on WordPress, the request first comes to the server, and then server fetches that post data from the database and then gets back and then renders it on the fly and then sends to the front user. That's the WordPress's architecture right now, okay? But what Superblog does is, the problem with that is, let's say if you have 1,000 people accessing the same thing, right? So then you see there are multiple bottlenecks. You need to go and solve each one of that. Now WordPress has some Jamstack plugins like WP Cache and some other things like, where you don't need to do the rendering part and directly push that, but it's not the standard. What Superblog does is, once you write your post or maybe update your settings or color or add a new menu, if you in your database, if you have like say 10,000 blog posts, okay, Superblog's CI/CD engine will fetch that 10,000 rows and runs each row with the UI layer. So you get 10,000 files even before customer requests it, and then you put all those 10,000 files into CDN. So now whenever you get a request, it doesn't even reach this phase. It's just pre-built everything and you just go there. Like, it's just insanely fast.
So would a managed WordPress not have this CDN layer?
So and so, because even with WordPress, you can have directly, even not with managed WordPress, even with your own server, if you install WordPress and do a Cloudflare integration, Cloudflare takes a lot of hit from you. But there are still cache misses. Technically, you can configure 100% hit rate. But then again, that's where Superblog's other features come in, because it's built up from ground with this approach. Say, for example, Superblog has this auto optimization thing, like where it fixes your content or technical SEO and on-page SEO. So I'm leveraging this build phase to go and check your content and fix everything. So, yeah.
So now people are querying and not even going to Google, they're asking ChatGPT or the Google summary. Has your approach or your recommended approach to SEO changed accordingly?
So actually, ChatGPT does a fraction of global queries right now, or any of the engines. Majority of people are still using Google. So I would say the strategy remains still. But as I mentioned in the presentation itself, as you are shifting towards chat engines, a lot of trust around the content will play a lot of factor, because chat engines can fetch real-time metrics as well, as opposed to Google's rank algorithm. But even they can improve the rank building frequency. But yeah, I would say a lot of quality content, a lot of social signals. You could call them vaguely backlinks. Yeah, it's just that, because anything else I could say, it could just be me speculating. Yeah.
How much more productive do you think you are with AI? Like, are you working maybe 3 hours less a day, or are you noticing that issues get solved way more quickly? Like, have you measured it at all, or is it mostly just?
I didn't measure actually, but definitely the pace of development is multi-xed. So I'm building Superblog 2.0 now. With I thought of building the entire UI layer, but I went and tried to fix this part, and I tried to went and fix this part. So all of this, it was done in like less than 3 weeks. So without AI, it would have taken at least 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. I'm just wondering, so obviously you said you're a solopreneur, so like you're working on this kind of by yourself, but you've also in the past built like 30 like apps and stuff. I'm wondering kind of two parts. Are you still working on a lot of the stuff that you did in the past? And like, if you are, how does that fit into your kind of time management now, working on this as well? And while like maintaining those things, obviously you've got loads of users and things like that. Yeah. I'm just wondering what your day looks like.
Most of the past products are shut down except mHotspot. It's still live. It's on autopilot. It's just functioning. So my full time is generally half time. At least for the last 4.5 years that I've been building this product, I was traveling so much and I was dealing with some personal issues. So I used to like work for like 3 hours, 4 hours a day maybe, and then traveling a lot. But now I'm back and full focus is on Superblog, and now I have another idea for a product, which is high value, high ticket size product idea. I did not start working on it, but if I do, it'll be like 50-50, 60-40 depending on the demand. Thank you again, Sai.